Hey, fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Lisbon, Portugal. You have the beautiful view of the city behind us. And today we're going to talk about are some of the mistakes that tourists make when they come here to Lisbon. And we don't want you to make those mistakes. We want you to have a great time when you're here. And I think the first mistake people make is they walk in the Baixa district or they walk in Bairro Alto. They engage with the guys that start with this. Oh, would you like some sunglasses? Maybe some hashish? Cocaine? Look, don't engage with those people. Just say no and walk on by because they'll just ask somebody else, okay? So just know that. Some of the locals don't think those people exist. It's because they actually focus on male tourists and younger tourists. That's who they usually ask. So don't get involved with them, all right? Now, the second mistake I see tourists make when they come to Lisbon is they bring the wrong shoes. Look, you have to understand, the streets here, the sidewalks here, made with these little cobblestones. They're all put together, and it's cool to see because they put different designs in there. You'll see all kinds of different things saying what street you're on or what this place sells or just a fancy design. But the thing is, those can be very, very slick when it gets a little wet or a little damp, okay? So you got to be careful. But also, it's a lot of uneven parts, and I've seen a number of tourists slip and fall over the years because they didn't have the right shoes to have a good grip. So, don't make the mistake of not bringing some shoes. You can have some really good grip in so you can go up those beautiful hills and take in the castle on this side or the lookouts on over here in Bairro Alto. And those hills are another thing I think is important to remember. Before you come here, don't make the mistake of practicing, walking on flat land. You need to go to the gym and get the super high incline stepper and start doing that because you're going to be doing a lot of steps when you're here. Because I know why I weighed 100 pounds less and had a perfect butt when I lived here in Portugal because I was walking up and down these hills over and over again. And you, as a tourist, will do it as well. Now, when you go around Lisbon, there's all kinds of great districts to go out. You have Baixa down below. You got Alfama over there with the hills. But probably the one that's the most historic that people like to go to and see certain sites is Belém. And my mistake for that is don't pass up the main 4 sites when you go there. 1, going to Pastel de Belém. You got to go to Pastéis de Belém. You got to go and have the custard pastries. And I know everybody sells it around town. They sell the Pastel de Nata. But the original is at the Pastéis de Belém, okay? So don't pass that one up. Also, a bonus note for that, don't worry about that huge line you see right up front. You can actually walk around because that's the to-go line. You can actually go and walk around and go in, and it's a huge cavernous restaurant. So you can go there, see them making the Pastéis de Belém, and order in there, okay? So don't worry, and don't forget to put the powdered sugar and cinnamon on top of those, okay? The other things to see when you're there, 1, the Mosteiros de Jerónimos, the monastery of Jerónimos there, that is incredible. The architecture outside, the manual architecture, oh my God, the facade is incredible inside. You can walk around, you can go in the cloisters, that's really cool. And when you come out of the monastery, you can go across the street, you see the Monument of the Discovery, so you see all these famous historical Portuguese people throughout time, so that's kind of a cool thing to see. And then you walk down the way, and you see the Tower of Belém, okay? You go there, it is beautiful. It's on all the postcards. You'll see that. That's nice. I don't think you really need to go up it. I've been up it enough times. It's not really anything great. It's more beautiful to look from the outside than the inside, so there is that. But you don't skip out on those 4 things when you go to Belém. And the thing is, there's more stuff in Belém. There's multiple museums that are there as well you can check out, so you can have that. So don't pass up that district because it's not on the metro line. You either take, a car there or a taxi there, or you can take the train line that goes from Cais Sodré out to Cascais on the city beaches. You take that to get out there, okay? So don't pass it up. And when you come to Lisbon, you're going to eat well, okay? So there's not really any mistakes with the eating when you're here, specifically about the food stuff, but there are some mistakes I see tourists make when it comes to planning out their eating and scheduling their eating, and that is they make the mistake of thinking they can eat anytime. Now, if you go into the Baixa district, there's a lot of tourist restaurants that are down there, and yes, those you can eat anytime you want. It's no big deal. But traditional tascas, okay, like that's the mom and pop restaurants, they're going to be closing their kitchens between probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 o'clock at night, maybe 8 o'clock at night at some of them. So do be aware of that and plan your eating around that because you want to have the traditional food when you're here, right? And you go to those restaurants, I guess there is a mistake I want to make sure you realize. Don't make the mistake of actually just starting to chow down on those little treats they leave for you, whether it's the pastéis de bacalhau, the bowl de bacalhau, the little codfish cakes, or the bread, or the olives, because those you pay for, and when you get the menu, look inside it, then they'll give you the prices. I mean, they're not super expensive. You might want to check before you tuck in. And as I'm here during the festivals in June, I want to give you a warning on this one. It's sardine season, okay? And in general, I think there's a mistake that some tourists make when they order fish sometimes when it's here, especially sardines, and that is thinking that things will be filleted for you. Look, when you get robalo, dorado, sea bream, sea bass when you hear it's fantastic, but there's going to be bones. You will be deboning it yourself, okay? Also, with the sardinas, you might have to take off the scales. You might have to take out some guts and stuff. So just don't make the mistake of thinking it's ready to go and just start eating. Hey, guys, just know that you might have a little work to do when you're getting your fish here. And then looking at the markets, you have to realize there's markets all over the city. And I think people make the mistake of thinking only the Time Out Market by Cais Sodré is the only market in town. Yes, they do food tours there, and there's little shops in there, and it's fine to go to. There's nothing wrong with it. But I don't you think make the mistake if that's the only market you can go to. I used to go to the market in Campo Rico, go visit my friends up there, and there's very few tourists that actually hang out at that market. But if you go around, there's all kinds of markets around town. It's not just that one. And that's one thing I think a lot of bloggers kind of mess up, is they make it seem like that's the end-all be-all of the markets of Lisbon. Well, yes, it's the biggest one, really, but there's so many more out there to go explore. Now, tourists love coming to Lisbon because it has fantastic nightlife. There's all kinds of bars, restaurants you can go to. The thing is, though, the mistake a lot of tourists make is thinking they can start partying early. And that's the thing. Here in Lisbon, the locals don't go out to eat and drink until later, okay? So they're going out to eat at 9, 10 o'clock at night. And then they're going out to Bairro Alto to go out and drink at like 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night, okay? So make sure you realize that, because sometimes people go out at like 10 o'clock at night like, I thought this place is supposed to have lots of nightlife. There's nobody here. Well, yeah, because the locals aren't going out till much later. Now, another mistake I see tourists make when they come here to Lisbon is they don't learn the song, the most important song in Lisbon. It goes a little something like this. SLB, SLB, glorioso, SLB. Most important song to know. Oh, by the way, if you're here, you can actually go to a game here and watch Benfica play. That could be kind of an important thing, and a mistake to go to that other Green Teens game. No. You want to go to this one. Another mistake people have when they come to Lisbon is they don't just head out to the park, head out to one of the little cafes that are in the park, the little kiosks that are grabbing a beer, having a snack, and just taking things in. It's a great place to relax, sit back and read, have a drink, have a snack, meet some of the locals. So don't forget to do that when you're here, because, honestly, that's a mistake that a lot of people make. There's a lot of parks you can enjoy. Now, another mistake people make is when they go to Alfama, they go walk up the hill over there, and they go into the castle, Castelo São Jorge. And they see up there and they're thinking, oh, it's a castle, there's going to be a palace, all kinds of cool stuff inside. No, that's a mistake. When you go over to the castle over there, you're just walking on the walls, okay? There's nothing there. If you want to see, like, the inside of a palace, go to Sintra, okay? And then you'll see the inside of palaces there. But here, yeah, those are just walls over there. And when you go to the Sé, the cathedral, that is like a fortification. That's why it seems very different than when you go to other, cathedrals around Portugal and around Europe. Because that Sé was really built to be like a fortification to protect people, not just to be a place of worship. Now, another mistake I think people make is when they're talking to locals here, they bring up like that they're staying at a really nice, cheap apartment rental when they are here. And the reason why that's a mistake is because a lot of the apartments in downtown and Bairro Alto, Baixo stuff, they've been bought out and made into Airbnbs so that locals can't either afford to live there or they can't buy them because they're already bought out, but they can't afford to live because it's driven up the prices. So a lot of the locals have moved out of Bairro Alto, Baixo, Alfama, and they've moved farther out to the suburbs, and it's more tourists that are in here. So that mistake might be that you're kind of upsetting their feelings about this, because that is an issue here in town. The thing is, mentioning those apartments, that really is just with the locals. If you're talking to other travelers, it's no big deal. But I think another mistake some people make is they think, well, this place is so popular, it's going to be expensive. Well, no. Don't make the mistake of thinking Portugal is going to cost you a few mortgage payments to come here, and Lisbon as well. No, Portugal in general and Lisbon too are very affordable destinations, so don't let the fear that it's going to cost too much keep you from enjoying the city. Another mistake people make when they come here to Lisbon is they think there's only a few city beaches you can go to. They think, oh, I'll just take the train line from Cais Sodré to Cascais and I can stop at a few beaches there. Get off at Estoril and then walk down to Cascais, and those are the beaches I have. No, the mistake is if you want a real beach day, don't stay on this side of the river. Go to the other side of the river. Go to Costa Caparica. That's where the crazy, awesome beaches are. The big, huge beaches. And there's all beach bars, all kinds of fun stuff to do out there. That's where you really want to do your beach time. Now, when you're going around the city and you're meeting people, I would like you not to make this mistake. Just start off speaking in English, or even worse, start off speaking in Spanish. Look, we're in Portugal. They speak Portuguese here. Yes, in Lisbon, you're not going to have any problems with English only, but it's nice to start with an hola, which is hello, or bom dia, which is good day, or telling people obrigado, thank you. That goes a long way. And saying gracias, no, that's Spanish, man. We don't speak that here, okay? Well, they do, but they don't. That's not the language here. They learn it in school, and we are not Spanish in Portugal. Now, with a city with as many hills as Lisbon, you will get a little tired of walking. And I want to tell you this. Those tuk-tuks are there. You can use them. It's fine. But I don't want you to mistake it and think these tuk-tuks are something traditional from Lisbon. They've only been here for a few years. There really is tourists that use them. And the locals hate them because they take up their parking spots and they get in the way on the road. So, yeah, just don't make the mistake of thinking that's a thing that the locals will do too, because they won't. They don't like the tuk-tuks. Another mistake I see people make is when they go here into the Baixa district down below, you'll see the elevador there, the elevator there, Santa Justa elevator. And people think, well, I've got to pay to take the elevator up to get those views. Well, first off, there's tons of great views for free all around the city, but also you can actually walk up the back side and get that same view without paying for the elevator and waiting in line for the elevator, so you don't have to do that. So don't make that mistake either. Now, one thing you need to realize, when you're here in Lisbon, you don't just have to stay in Lisbon. And I gotta say, don't make the mistake of just staying in Lisbon. There's tons and tons of day trips that are here. And whether you're going to Sintra, you're going to Évora, you're going to Óbidos, there's all kinds of ways to get out there. So go and explore more than Lisbon when you're here. But one mistake people do make when they do their day trips is they go to the wrong train station. Because you have to realize there's a lot of different train stations here in Lisbon, and knowing which train station is for which day station you want to go to is very important, because you might miss your train if you don't. So if you want to go to Sintra with the palaces there, right? That's from the Rossio station. If you're going up to Porto, you're going to start at Santa Apollonia, or you can grab an Oriente station. If you're going to go to the Algarve, you got Intercampos and Oriente, you can go from there. If you're going to be going to Évora, a great day trip about an hour and a half away, you can grab it from Oriente. If you're going to go to Évora, you can go from Oriente or Sete Rios or Intercampos. I mean, there's just a lot of options out there. So make sure you know which one to go for. And I will tell you this, don't make the mistake of trusting Google Maps when you're here, because I've found their suggestions for public transportation have not been 100% accurate or helpful. So another mistake I've seen a lot lately when it comes to tourists coming here to Portugal in general and Lisbon is a lot of the Instagram and TikTok advice channels are giving like food advice, but they're like, yes, have the paella, have the patatas bravas. I'm like, no, that's Spain. When you come here, don't make the mistake of eating food that's not really Portuguese. You want to go to those tascas I talk about, or go to a restaurant and say, hey, what's actually Portuguese? And they'll bring up a sorda, they'll bring up porco preto, they'll bring up robalo, dourado, sardinhas. They'll talk about the real local food. You want to have that, because I've seen the TikTokers, they seem to think that only thing people eat are pastel de nata. Well, again, remember you want pastel de Belém, right? You want to go to Belém and have the real ones, but they kind of focus on that and not on the other really great food Portugal has. So don't make that mistake of just blindly following a TikToker or a YouTuber about what to eat and drink when you're here. Go and ask the locals, because they will help you out. And when you're going around Lisbon, or heck, when you go around Portugal, you're going to see these blue tiles everywhere, right? Those are azulejos, and they might be blue, they might be other colors, but don't make the mistake of missing out on them, because that's actually something very special from here. And if you go to São Vicente da Fora, maybe you can see the two little spires back there. You go in there, and they have like Aesop's fables in azulejos. It's pretty cool. There's museums that talk about azulejos. You can go and do a workshop and make your own Portuguese tiles. I mean, it's really cool. So don't make the mistake of skipping out on them, because it's not just a decoration on the side of a building. It's part of the culture here. And another thing I think people miss is they come here, whether it's for stag nights or bachelor parties or bachelorette parties or whatever, they kind of stick to Baixa, and they see a castle, and then they go to the beach. Like, that's their thing. Don't make that mistake. Go out and explore more. Go out to the expo and go to the Oceanarium. That is a fantastic way to spend your time. The Oceanarium is wonderful out there. The zoo here, my God, the Jardim Zoológico of Lisbon, they make it easy. It's on the blue train line called the Jardim Zoológico. Get off there. It is a wonderful zoo. They got a great funicular you can ride around on, see the animals up close. I mean, it's a wonderful zoo. The museums that are here, go to the Gulbenkian Museum, where it has an incredible collection from furniture to artwork to historical pieces. I mean, it's really, really cool. Or you can go to the Museo de Arte Antiga, the Ancient Art Museum. I mean, there's a lot of museums around town you can go and see. There's just so many museums you can see when you're here. I just feel that tourists really make the mistake of only seeing like the castle, the cathedral, and Jerónimos and Belém, and they stop, and there's much more to enjoy. That's why you can do this as more than just a weekend trip, with those day trips and with all the other fun things they're here to do. So I hope this helps you get ready for your trip to Lisbon. It's a fantastic place. If you want to learn more, the don'ts of visiting Lisbon, love and hates of visiting Lisbon, what to eat when you come to Portugal, check us out on our website at waltersworld.com. We wish you a fantastic time here in Portugal, but I'm not worried. You will. There's no mistake about it.